Come on. Come on. Live.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Ori. It is Monday. And of course, for you guys that didn't change your time like me, I woke up thinking it was noon and it was actually 1. So my day went really quick. Again, this is Coffee with Ori. And it is brought to you through the Food Alchemy Network, where you have Dr. D, who is Dr. D, which is the food alchemist. So, welcome to the show today. Today's topic is going to be about spirit. We talk about a lot of different things, and one of the things that we really don't talk about is spirit. And there are many types of spirits. Look, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm not prepared. As you can see, look, this is my cheat sheet. I'm not prepared because I had a lot to do this week and last week, and it was just a little crazy. So I just brought you a brief synopsis. And if you want a copy of the information that I have, I can always email it to you. So you would have to contact me or Dr. D, and we will do everything in our power so that I can text this to you. So let's get started. Sometimes people are haunted by different things, and they really can't explain it. You know, I think society has made us believe that these things either don't exist, and if they do exist, something is definitely wrong, or, you know, most people want you to believe that you're going crazy. And I believe, personally, that there are more crazy people in mental institutions. I mean, more people that are in the mental institutions that are spiritual that are crazy. And there's a lot more crazy people in the street where they should be in the mental institutions. Now, to begin this process, I'm going to explain to you. There are a few types of spirits, okay? And I have to say a few types because I have to add more, of which people don't really even recognize. Some of us do, some of us do not. There is the first spirit that is recognizable, that is more prevalent to humanities and to humans that we go through, is what they call an anniversary spirit. An anniversary spirit comes either on their birthday or near their birthday. You can feel them. The old wives' tale was that somebody walked over your grave, but that's basically the spirit letting you know that, if either their birthday's coming up or it is their birthday. They always have a way of letting you know. So those are anniversary spirits, and they're always around on their birthdays, or like I said, or if you are a family member, you will either feel them, hear them, smell them, or you can feel their vibrations, or your hairs can stand up, and you're wondering why, but that's what it is. Residual haunting is a haunting of a spirit or spirits that come and keep repeating everything that they've done over and over and over and over. In other words, if they were spirits from the 17th century and you decided to buy this house and they were always having dinner going from the dining room to the living room, from the living room to the dining room, that was their favorite spot, then that's what they remember, and that is what they keep coming back to. They're not really there. It's just like a camera. So they constantly keep coming back and forth every day until you either let them know that the person is no longer needed in the house, or you let them know that they died. And there are ways to do that, but those are residual hauntings, and they're really harmless. They don't really do any damage. Neither does the anniversary spirits. They don't do anything. Now you have intellect haunting, which is spirits that are really dynamic entities, because they can impose free will upon you. They can impose their will on you, not free will. They can impose their will on you by constantly repeating things in your head to make you feel like it's your idea and things like that. And they work a lot with the subconscious and conscious mind. And they are free to make conscious decisions, just like we are, because it just means that they have not yet descended or descended or ascended. So they have the ability to stay on this plane and have enough power where they can influence us, whether it's a good way or it's a bad way. Now, when we go through to poltergeist, okay, poltergeist is the German word for noisy ghosts. Now, we're talking about 5 different levels, but actually there are more than 5 levels. I've come to realize that there are 7 levels, and sometimes I think there's even more. I would think sometimes it's either 9 or 13 levels of poltergeist. Why? Because poltergeist, some of them enter to the portals of your house. Every house has a portal. You just have to find where it is, and that's energy transference. So they come through the portal, and they have any type of poltergeist. Poltergeist has has the ability to move things, shift things, throw things, and do things. As the levels go up higher, the more dangerous they become. They're not that easy to educate because they don't want to be educated. Attachment. So therefore, because they don't want to be educated, they come and they make your life miserable, and they do things and they haunt. It's like a regular haunting, but except they can become physical. They have the ability to move things and to shift things, to throw things, and sometimes even cause damage, especially with children. So you have to be very cautious with those. Can we as spiritual beings remove them? We can. People think that you have to go to the church and have a saint, have them remove the spirit, the way they do. But there are a lot of good spiritualists out there that are strong enough to remove negative vibration and send it back, or send it to rest, or send it somewhere else. You ask me, I put them in a jar and throw them in the water, because you don't have time for negative energy like that. Now, sometimes we have spirits that walk with us there are spirits that attach themselves to us, spirits of attachment. Sometimes these spirits of attachment are not just of attachments because they enjoy the light that you carry. They're also spirits of attachment because they were probably sent to you, or they attach themselves to you on your past life, or many of your past lives, and then they have accompanied you through those lifetimes into this lifetime. So they're spirits of attachment, and they're not always bad. There's a lot of them that do good, and I think you just need to communicate. When you communicate with spirit, it makes it easier for you to be able to know what you're dealing with, especially on this plane, and also the spiritual plane. Okay. Hi. Hey, how are you, Ron? Good Ali's hi. So what I can say is, yeah, there are spiritual animals that also come through, and spirits do. Look, this is not our first rodeo. So you have to understand that now, as I'm getting older and I'm researching more, and because of the things that I've seen, we have also what's called dimensional spirits. We have spirits that actually come through different dimensions, and whether you want to accept that or not, they're there and they're real and they do exist. And the more that we keep messing with we keep getting out of the 740 megahertz that we're used to, or the 680 megahertz that we're used to, and we start going up higher, the vibrations of the sound, it makes a rift into the universe and to the planet and to our very existence. And things come in unseen, but they don't always leave unseen. So you have to be careful about the things that are coming and the things that you do see. I suggest that, I believe that I believe, and it's also a suggestion, burning sage. Well, look, guys, let me be honest with you. I'm not a fan of sage. There are other things that we normally burn, like charcoal, and we burn resin incense on top of it, like the Three Kings, and a whole bunch of other stuff. There's Palo Santo. There is rue, dried rue. There's also like the Native Americans, they burn cedar, as a cleansing. And cedar is also very purifying. And if you mix cedar and sage together, it's a lovely smell, because sage can become very overpowering after a while. Another thing that will help keep spirits at bay is alum, ALUM. Getting alum stones, rocks. They look like crystals, or you can get it in powder form. You can actually go to the supermarket and buy alum in the McCormick aisle, and you look at the spices, and there will be one small little thing called alum, but you can just put a few pieces of that in water, and you can put the glass of water under your bed, right under your head where you sleep, so that you can have a better night's sleep, and so that it can pick up a lot of things in your house. Okay. There are also ways where you can take You can take a lemon or a lime and cut it into four, but you don't cut it completely. You cut it to four, and then you open it, and then you put cloves, like 3 cloves in each one, and you put it. You put some salt, some sea salt, and you put it on the floor by the entrance of your door and by an exit door if you have 2 doors. And if the presence is bothering you, then you put it underneath your bed. And if the if the lime or the lemon, if they turn dark and they get moldy, that means that you have to do it again because whatever it is really strong. If it gets dark really quickly, that means that it has absorbed a lot of the vibrations. Spirits are there, but there are many things that people have done for many years to actually get rid of them. I think that we are all spiritual. We are going through an evolution right now. We are waking up, and we're undecided, not about believing in God. We're undecided about what to believe in, whether to believe in this or whether to believe in that, because there is so much fanatism in the world. People have become this crazy fanatics, and like I said, I'm not a fan of Bible thumpers or Bible bangers. I don't like either ones. I avoid them, don't want them in my house, and I don't need them to preach to me about the Bible because I know Scripture. I'm an ordained minister. I know Scripture. But at the end of the day, they forget. They're forgetting the essence of the Bible. They're forgetting that we are spiritual beings. They keep reiterating that the Holy Spirit is the only Spirit, but it's not. And people need to understand that. For people who have grown up in the church, well, let's just break it down into different categories. If you're Hispanic and you've gone to church, or you grew up in a spiritual house, you find that when the Spirit throws you on the floor, it's not of light. But yet, when you go to the church, a Baptist church or an evangelist church, these people get possessed. They get thrown all over the floor, and they start doing all this crazy stuff. And at the end of the day, it's not. They think that it's of light, and it really is not of light. I think being a Christian it's something that is inside. It's something that should be inside. I'm not saying don't talk about it. I'm just saying it should be. Your belief isn't here. Okay, when I read the Bible to me is a book of hope. It's not a book of destruction. It's not a book of malice or a book that is created to downplay people and make people feel like they're less than. Because remember, they use the Bible even to have slaves, to keep slaves. Some people use the Quran so they can have many wives, to follow the old ways. But come on, let's be for real. And this is something that my personal belief, why would you marry? And I'm not just talking about Muslims. I'm talking about Jewish people as well. Why would you marry a 12-year-old girl or a 13-year-old girl and then wait until she has her period and then you're able to penetrate her? It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, to me, it's disgusting. It's supposed to be cultural. To me, it's disgusting. Why? Because you're not giving an opportunity for a child to grow. You're taking their freedom away. You're taking their childhood away. And because they believe that it's what their parents have in store for them because they organized it, then automatically, what do you become? It's not because of position. It's because you are the sacrificial lamb. Every family has one. So you're it. So again, let me go back. Let me not get lost. Like I said, there are many spirits that are happening. Angels are spirits too. And just like there are hierarchies in regular spirits and people, there are hierarchies in angels as well. But not all angels are of light. So you always have to you have to know by trying the spirit by the spirit. In other words, put the spirit by trial with your own spirit. You have to be strong enough to face what goes on. And if you're a prayer, then pray, because prayer is very powerful. Um, but don't think that you can ignore a spirit and it's just going to go away. It's never going to go away unless you do something about it, unless you reach somebody that has the ability to communicate with spirits and help you get rid of it. Now, the dimensional spirits that I'm talking about, ever since the shift came, no, way before that, when they started to mess around with 5G, I was noticing in the skies how birds would come out of nowhere, or I would look in my neighborhood and people were coming out of nowhere, and then when I would cross the street to look, I could see the road, but then I looked through. I don't know what I was looking through, where that street that was there is no longer there. What's there is dirt. So you're able to see inside of another dimension, but you're not as well, at least me, okay? I'm not as curious to walk into that dimension at this particular moment. Now, we're getting more and more of that, and that is what's bringing out all these things, spirits, beings, beings from other galaxies that are not here, but their spirits manifest. They manifest in us, they manifest through us. Sometimes the mind can't handle the energy, so sometimes you tend to get depressed and feel like you have schizophrenia, but in reality it's the voices that you're hearing of either the people from the past or the people from the future. And yes, there are people from the future. Now, like I said, these particular spirits that are dimensional spirits, I really don't know how they operate and how they work. They don't work the same way that most spirits do. They don't work they don't get scared when you do things to get rid of them. They don't go away. They actually stay there until they fulfill their mission. Because I believe that every entity that comes into this world, into this planet, into these bodies, have work to do. And sometimes it is you that is the main spirit that brings them with you, because they are supposed to help you to grow. And if you don't learn the lesson from that, then you're going to keep repeating it and repeating it and repeating it over and over and over again. So for all of you out there that are interested, I wrote the paper on this, I want to say maybe like 17, 18 years ago. And I kind of ran into it the other day in my computer, along with a book of spells that is called it's in Latin, but the meaning of it is the New Circular Order. I started to write that book about the same time, and I just happened to bump into it and realize that they're filled with so many incantations, which is not spells done by work, but spells done by verbalizing them, by creating them, by pulling out and using the universe, using the ground and the trees, and using everything around you, the elements, to call on the spirits and to bring them towards you. One group of spirits that I didn't mention is the spirits of the shadows. Spirits of the shadows always linger in shadows. They linger in the corners of your house, in the closets. They linger everywhere where there is. People used to call them the in between, but it's not the in between. They're the spirits of shadows, and the shadow people come. And whenever you see the shadow people, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid that they're going to hurt you. The shadow people are there because they know there's something there that's not good. So they're there to warn you first that something is coming or it's there already. So if you are a seer and you're able to see it, don't fear the shadow people. They're just there to let you know or to warn you that something is coming. Something equally scary or something much more scarier. So keep in mind that these spirits have a mission just like we do. Some of them need a vessel, so they use us. But if we're a person that we have hatred in our heart and we're angry and we're power hungry, the spirit, all it's going to do is intensify that. The spirit is not going to not intensify. It's going to intensify the energy. So if you're a negative human being, and again, this is like the conversation we had last week about labels. I don't really like to label, but unfortunately, people have been in love with power for the longest time. If you're one of those people and you have no regrets, then at the end of the day, when you get possessed by a spirit and you know that it's a spirit and it's a spirit that can play both parts and play the part of being honest and noble or be mischievous, but sometimes the spirit doesn't turn you. Sometimes you turn the spirit. So your anger, your frustration, your thought pattern changes, and it changes the spirit. So we have to keep ourselves moving in a way where we don't let anything get in our way or interfere in the things that we're doing. So we have to keep ourselves grounded. Part of that is reading. Part of that is making an effort to make sure that you take time and you make time for God, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. You don't have to go to church to show God that you're going to church, because 9 out of 10, if you're going to church just to show God that you're going to church, then what are you going to church for? You might as well not go. I don't go. I go once in a blue moon when I'm pushed in my spirit to go. I go, and I kneel down when I walk in, and I stay kneeling down through the whole mass, and all I do is pray. But there's a lot of people out there that are jokes. They go to church and then they cuss afterwards, or they judge, or they're always doing something, and that's not something that is. It's not something that is of God, because I told you the last time, God does not judge. He doesn't judge the good. He doesn't judge the bad. He created it all. So it is man that came and changed the names of things and put a label on everything. So sometimes we're fighting something and we don't realize that it's not a spirit, it's our own subconscious that can be manifested into a spirit, or it can manifest as if it was a spirit, but it really is not. The mind is a very powerful tool, and it can make you see things that you don't want to see. It can make you feel things that are not really happening to you, or it can destroy you. The choice is yours. You have to decide whether you want to help yourself to get better, or you want to continue down the spiral, the downward spiral, where you're always going to be going through like an emotional roller coaster. So these are things that you have to really think about. I think we have the ability to communicate with spirits, whether they're good or intentioned. I think every spirit has an intention, whether it be a good, bad, or an indifferent one. They have their own agendas, just like we have our own agendas. So it's time that we connect, from one to the other, so that we can know exactly what in reality is happening to us. We're just about to go to commercial. So just keep that in mind, that this up here works in mysterious ways as well. And it can make you feel good, but it can also bring you down. And that's what you have to avoid. Well, hello again, and welcome back. Today, we're not going to be doing tapping, but we are going to be meditating, and we're going to be meditating on some relaxing music. I want to go back to helping you and guide you through the relaxing moments. I know that at times it may be really quick, and it may be quick at times because of how the time frame actually. So today we're not going to relax everything. We're gonna try to just take the shortcut and relax big parts of the body first, and then we're gonna focus. So just listen to the music, and I want you to take your first deep breath. Take it as deep as you can. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Release it. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Hold it.
It's a good time
Hold it.
to get calm,
Hold it.
relaxed,
And release.
create a comfort zone wherever you are,
Now,
and feel free to recline.
I want you to sit in whatever comfortable space you have
Pranayama is often referred
and
to
allow
as
yourself
breathwork.
to slow yourself down, because that's what it's about. Try to slow yourself down.
Inhale and exhale.
Give me a second, guys. I'm looking for something that I have, and I don't know why.
Unwinding after work.
No, it's not what I want to. Anyway, take a deep breath and start to relax your legs and your feet and your hips and your thighs. Start to relax them. So just repeat, relaxing my hips, my legs, my thighs, my feet. Um, I'm sorry, guys. I really am unprepared today. It's really weird, but anyway, yeah. So if you've done that, then once you do that, you start to the other parts, like relaxing your arms and relaxing your hands and relaxing your wrists and all the above, because you guys can do this. Okay, so you start off with the toes and the feet and the ankles and the legs, but you just do it all. So it's relaxing from your waist down, relaxing my legs, my butt, whatever. Now relax the other part of you, which is the hands and stuff like that. Then we save the head for last, because the head is last, because it's the only connection that we have with God, which is the crown, which is a part of us, the part of the brain that we cannot see, the part of the head or the body that we can't see. So at the end of the day, that's what we focus on. Okay, so now I have the singing bowls on. So now, if you guys have followed and you guys have told your body to relax, I just want you to take one more deep breath, as deep as you can, and I want you to hold it, and then I want you to count to 10, and I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think about how your day was today, whether it was a good day, whether it was, although all days are good, but whether it was a good day, or was it a day that was hectic, or a day where your mind was scattered, or a day where you felt like you were against time, or you were against against just things. Or, maybe you had a shitty day because your boss was shitty. But whatever the case may be, think about what your day was like. And then I want you to think about what you could have done to make the day better. I want you to focus on that. I want you to focus on what could you have done to make the day better. And if you can't focus on that, then it's because there was no way that you could have made the day better. So then we have to think about the next scenario, which is think about that what happened is over. So it is no longer part of you or part of your day. So we have to release that. How do we release that? By breathing in all the negative air and breathing out love and light. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in the negative, spew out love and light. Again, breathe in the negative and spew out to the universe love and light. Love yourself. Tell yourself how special you are, how incredible you are becoming, and how fantastic you will be. How much you love yourself and others. How much you do. And we're not talking about doing things and then people hurting you. Forget about people hurting you. This focus to the thing that you do that bring peace and joy and happiness. Think about those things. So what you do, whether you give to the poor, whether you feed the poor, whether you help other people that are in need, and or you help your coworkers, think about those things. Don't think about the consequences behind it or why you're doing it, or if it made you mad to do it. The point is you did it, and love starts with one simple act of kindness, and that is what we're looking for. We're looking for ourselves to learn how to be as we once were in the spirit form, which was all about love and energy and light. And we have to start emanating love and light because we have a strong vibration, and we have to start using our vibration. So we use it by taking a deep breath in the morning, and not but take a deep breath. And you use it. And by doing that, what you're doing is, as you're doing it in your mind, you're sending out light and love, not just to you, not to your children or your family or your friends. You're sending out light and love to the universe. And that's one thing that I want you all to practice on. I want you to practice not on the Om, because the Om is the sound of the universe. I want you to practice on the Ah, because the Ah shows that we are compassionate, and it shows that we as humans, we still have a deep-rooted connection, and we can become better. I always tell people that I don't believe in people, I believe in humanity. And they say, well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is people will always disappoint you, but humanity as a whole has a tendency to heal itself and heal each other so that there won't be so much disappointment. So think on that for a while. But again, I'm going to take a deep breath, and you guys join me. It would be great. But I want you to just take the deepest breath that you can. Ah. So send out your love and light. And every day when you get up, remember to remind the universe, God, spirits, angels, guides, or whoever, remind them of how grateful you are. Not just for being able to open your eyes, but being able to move your hands and your feet and your body. And constantly let the universe know that because you are in gratitude, you want to contribute more to the universe. You want to give more. You want to help more. You want to be better. I know I ask the universe every single day to make me a better person. So no matter what goes on in my life, every single day, my mantra is make me a better person. Make me today better than I was yesterday, and make me tomorrow better than I am today. So that's my mantra. There's a lot of different mantras that I go through, but the most important is that, make me a better person than I was today, and make me a better person tomorrow, so that I can be better for the day to come, the next day that's coming. And then the next day that comes, make me a better person than the last 2 days, or make me a better person than the week I've had, and make me better. Heal me inside, because I'm lost. Hatred, anger, I've gone through all of that, and still I'm still working on it. I'm still working on letting go of things that I can be very vindictive and not let go. And I'm working on that. So every day is a process of work. So I ask you people out here that are very powerful people, but are going through a lot of emotional roller coasters within your personal lives. You need to let that go. You need to just start with and release it. And anytime you feel like that, you know what? You arch your body back and just bring it out like anywhere. Why? Because it will release what it is that your mind is telling you, which is send out light and love. This area needs light and love. That area needs light and love. These people need light and love. And even if they look at you like you're crazy, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you know your intention, and that's what the good and bad is about. It's intention. I don't believe that. I don't believe that there is white magic or black magic. I believe that all magic is magic. I think it becomes black magic and dark magic when your intentions change, and when your intentions change, spirits also change. So you can't work with spirits of the light, people, and then tomorrow decide to work with spirits of the darkness. So you have to understand that, God, spirits, angels, guides, and the universe itself, which is a goddess within herself, a universe that has destroyed many cities and continuously destroys them and brings new hope. If you start looking at the Bible as a love story rather than to look at it as something tragic, then maybe you'll understand that the love that Jesus had for God and for humanity went so deep that it was like a love story, a never-ending love story between God, his son, and his children. But people don't see that. People are so busy judging others when they read scriptures that they forget, they lose themselves. So today you have a gift. The Bible says we have 7 gifts. Some of us are given many, some of us are given one. We have the gift of prophecy, but yet because you're not ordained, or because you're not born again, or because of this, or because of that, and to me, fiddlesticks. If you are ordained to be a spiritual person and to be someone who is prophet-like, what makes you think that because you go, oh, blah, 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 blah? No, that to me means nothing. When spirit talks through you and you can understand spirit, that to me means that there is something there that God has sent to give people messages. I call it the dead, and other people call it something else. So my suggestion to you guys is to get into the habit of breathing in and breathing out. Breathing is the most important thing you can do. Early in the morning, and I mentioned this once before, waking up in the morning, And guys, all of us want to have riches and do great things. Some of us to do great things for humanity, some of us to do great things for ourselves. Okay, and that is what speaks volumes of who we are as a human being. But with that being said, we have the ability to create whatever we want. It's just a matter of what is our intention, And when you're building something, the law of attraction, don't assume that because you're asking for one particular thing, the law of attraction is going to bring you that, because it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes we're involved, sometimes we're getting in something, and we're waiting. So because we're waiting, you think it's never going to come, but it's all in here. It's all internal. If you allow this situation to bother you, then everything will bother you. If you let this situation, bring out the best in you, then it will. So if you had a shitty day and you leave your job and you continuously carry that energy from your job to your home, your day's not going to get better. But if you learn that what is said there, what is done there, stays there, then you don't have to bring that home. You can release it the minute you get out the door and not have to worry about it. Put on some music, do some other stuff. Hey Ron, I didn't call you John. Anyway, what else? I use these singing bowls because the music of the singing bowls, because singing bowls to me are very important. Everything is vibration. Just like people said, people used to say all the time that not everything is spiritual. But I have a friend and a mentor, Domingo, who says everything is spiritual. And yes, everything is spiritual, because everything you do, everything you're seeing, everything around us, everything that we are a part of is spiritual. We are the children of the most highest God. So why are we stuck in this time doing nothing except complaining about what's not happening, instead of being grateful for the little things that are happening? It's better to judge yourself than to judge others, because when you judge yourself, you are your strongest critic and you can push yourself to be better. People, their jealousy, hypocrisy, it's always going to be part of life. Men are always going to try to squash women, because men, it's inbred. It's something that is taught. That's a taught behavior. As you people remember that years ago in the 16, 17, maybe even earlier, when women, most men who had women and they were aristocrats, that would leave all the money to their daughters. And of course, once the aristocrat married the daughter, and even if they had nothing, then they would have the title and the daughter's money will become their money. I don't know why a lot of them were not smart enough to put money away in their names and not give everything to them. But unfortunately, that's the way society was. Okay, paying a dowry, which to me it doesn't make sense. But you're gonna marry somebody. Why should you pay them to marry their child? Doesn't make any sense to me. But who am I? Who am I to judge that? I'm nobody. So one thing that you are responsible for, okay, the only thing that you can control is the way that you treat yourself and you treat others. The only thing that you're in control of is how you go about things. Some people call themselves helping, trying to help a person. Yes, dear, you're absolutely right. People need to learn to let go of negative things. But sometimes when you have the negativity in your own home, things must be time to that we can't. Sometimes things happen, and some people sing when they're sad, and some people sing when vibrate when things are there, and sometimes there are spirits that actually come by you that actually want to hear you sing or want to see you have fun. I know that spirit comes to me and I could be washing dishes and all of a sudden I look on the floor and my floor is filled with water. Or I take a shower and I open the curtain and the water just splashes all over me. I'm just like a water child, so spirit does that, and I think they just laugh at me. But spirit has many ways of doing things, like I said, but the one thing that we have to be is consistent on how we take care of ourselves. You can't fool yourself. If someone does not love you and someone walks away from you, then let it go. Understand that if they did something to you, they cheated on you, they did it because they did not care enough to be with you then. So why do you keep bringing them in? Understand that. People don't understand that, and you have to understand that. That anything that is toxic for you, you have to let go. Because if you really believe in God, you have to trust that God's plan is bigger than yours. So keep your mind and your thoughts focused on what it is that you really want. And when you ask God for something, make sure that it's specific. Ladies and gentlemen who like the dick, be specific, even down to the dick size. I want it to be this way. I want it to look like this. I want it to be like that. Be specific. Because if you ask God for a dress, a red dress, he's going to give you any red dress. Because you didn't specify what kind of dress you wanted. So think about those things. Those things are important because people think that, oh, well, you can ask God for that. Yes, you can ask God for anything. You want a marble, you can ask God for a marble. Who's the biggest store? God. Who's the biggest bank? God. My mother used to say to me, asking God for money is sinful. Yeah, where does it say that in the Bible, that asking God for money is sinful? I would like to know because it's not in there. I haven't seen it. You're not asking anybody else except God directly. So why not? And I'm very thankful. And when I ask God for money in the universe, I say, may I have some more, please? I'm not going to just stop where you gave me $5,000. Yes, I am so happy for it. I'm so happy for the money that you've given me. And I live in the gratitude every single day. Now, may I have some more? There's nothing wrong with that. And that's what people need to understand, that, we have been turned around so many times, and not just us. So has spirit, because these spirits were living beings at one time. And I'm sure they were persecuted and were destroyed because churches did that. Churches' philosophies did that to people. It made people believe. They're like giving tithe. What the hell are you giving tithes to the church for? God don't need money. God is the biggest bank in the world. You giving God the money? No, you ain't giving God the money. You're taking that money and you're buying a church, or you're buying a house, or you're buying a car, or you want to be ghetto rich, because that's what the way I look at it. I look at it the same way. So the same way that you look at life, spirit has gone through the same exact thing that we're going through. Maybe in a time frame that was much longer than us, or in a timeline that it coexists with ours, or one that is in another dimension. But either way, these spirits that come to communicate, you have to learn that if it doesn't scare you, it's not trying to hurt you. If it scares you, then you have to be strong enough to say, listen, I believe in God, the Father, the Father of heaven and earth. And you just keep praying, because prayer makes things change. Everything about life makes things change. So keep yourself grounded, keep yourself flowing, and understand that there is a solution to every problem. Sometimes we're afraid of the solution, and sometimes we make excuses for the solution because we don't want to be alone. Well, you know what? You have to learn to be alone, because you have to learn to be lonely, because you're not alone. God is always with you. And if you believe and trust in God, spirit, angels, and guides, because they're all around us, then you have to understand that you have to walk by faith and not by sight. And by walking by faith is much more beautiful than just walking by sight. Trust and believe. So to my fellow constituents and my fellow people whom I love and I try to help the best way that I can, always remember that you come first, you come second, and you come third. Anything that comes after that, that just gets put on the pile. But if you're not happy, how are you going to make other people happy? By continuously adding on plates to your shoulders and taking on their conditions and trying to help them? I don't think so. Guys, we're going to commercial again. And I just want you to think about that, what I just said. Patience. Patience. I hope that you guys are really enjoying these things on Monday. I would really hope that you guys can actually interact and create or talk to me about what you want to know or what I can do for you guys. So now we're going to be going to commercial. Well, guys, I want to thank you again for tuning in, all of you that's tuned in. And I want you to remember that no matter what happens in life, no matter how bad we feel, there is always a silver lining. You know, you can say, you can get into a fight with someone and have someone that is the wrong person that may try to kill you, but they didn't kill you. Then don't say, I could have died. Just say, well, I'm alive. And you move on. Be happy. Situation. Well, I used to get beat up. Well, that was used to get beat up. You're not getting beat up now. So I think that we need to let go of that past of things that used to happen to us My girlfriend cheated on me. Is this one cheating on me? Well, you know what? If you are that insecure about yourself, then obviously you're the problem, not women. Um, Again, sometimes we have things that torment us and we don't know. I am a reader. My number is there. Those people that don't know that I'm a reader can call and set up an appointment with me, and I will figure out what's bothering you and help you through it. Uh, it's time to go now. I will talk to you next Monday, but please try to come up with a subject, something that you guys want to talk about. Okay, I would appreciate it. Namaste, my people. I love you much.